Hello, Connor Ruhl here. Today's talk show, we're going to be talking about AIDS in Africa with Mike Gallagher. Hello, Mike. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks, Connor.
So, how are different countries in Africa affected by HIV and AIDS today?
In Somalia and Senegal, the people have AIDS less than 1% about the population. In Zambia and Zimbabwe, the people who are infected with AIDS is around 10 to 15% of adults. South Africa is the worst percentages of all the countries in Africa at 17.8%. That's a lot. In West Africa, and the AIDS percentages of adults are receding, but in the rest of the country have different rising numbers. Lastly, Africa's people living with HIV or AIDS come to about 3.3 million people in the entire continent. That's a lot of problems going on.
So, what is the impact of AIDS on Africa?
One of the impacts is on the life expectancy. How long people live in Africa. The country's how long people live in Africa is about 52 now. That's pretty young. That's a lot younger than us. Another impact is on effective households in Africa. The conditions that they live in are very severe. They can get even worse when families lose their top provider in money and the person dies. Lastly, the households get worse because of something such as a family member has to come with them. It's because they were sick. It would mean that income would be spent quickly.
Interesting. What needs to be done to make a difference in Africa?
Well, Connor, the most important thing that needs to be done is we need to increase the income of AIDS funding around the world. More money would mean that you increase the chances of finding a cure for AIDS because the money would allow them to pay the cost of treatments. Since 2007, the world funding for HIV and AIDS prevention has decreased. The government has been only reliable source of money for Africa.
So, is there any available HIV or AIDS related treatment and care in Africa?
Yes, there is, Connor. There are ARV drugs that slow down the process of HIV and AIDS. The downside is that 4 out of 10 Africans living with HIV or AIDS cannot be treated due to availability. Although most countries have the drug, it is not available. This is bad because the world population is living with HIV and AIDS will not decrease because of the people who don't get treated.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure working with you.